Over the weekend, Don't Worry Darling has released, and I don't think there's been a lot of drama around this. Don't Worry Darling is about a 1950s housewoman and her husband living in this community, and there might be some dark secrets behind this community. And it's probably the biggest movie post-COVID that's been talked about for everything that's happened behind the scenes, and everything that has happened behind the scenes has really taken over from this movie and was probably the most interesting thing coming up to its release. With all its negative press surrounding it and its low reviews initially from the early screenings, I didn't have high hopes for this. However, I was pleasantly surprised. Not saying it's the best movie of the year or it's a great movie, just for where the expectation was to what we actually got. And when talking about positives with this film, the first thing you have to mention is Florence Pugh's performance in this, as she plays the housewife Alice in this, and she does a really great performance, as throughout the story is told in her point of view, and throughout you can see how everything starts to unravel within this world, as she's able to display all these complex emotions as she's understanding what's happening in this world and how everything isn't how she initially thought it was, with her having to display emotions of being from happiness to confusion to anger in multiple scenes very quickly, and she does it really well and portrays it in a way that's really believable. And along with Florence Pugh, the other probably standout from this is Chris Pine's character of Frank. And he's not in the movie as much as Florence Pugh, and he's not really in it that much in general. However, when he is, he's able to play off the cult leader really well by being very mysterious. And along with some of the acting, another positive that came from this was the world that Olivia Wilde was able to build. At the shots they were able to create look visually perfect, like it's meant to portray in a movie, how everything's meant to seem great and perfect on the surface, and she done a great job in achieving that goal. Also, what she done well within this was having a really good 2/3 of the movie, as throughout the first 2/3 she's able to create the intrigue into what's happening, and you ask yourself many questions throughout the first 2/3 of the movie. And whilst everything seems perfect, she's also able to just give away little things so something doesn't seem as perfect as it is, and give us a sense of creepiness throughout the film as well. And I say it's a really good first 2/3, as I wasn't 100% convinced on the ending, as it takes a different direction as it gets into the last third. And throughout the ending of the film, I still feel like I had questions. Everything I wanted answers to wasn't answered, and I left still a bit unsatisfied with all the answers that we got. And along with that, throughout the last third of the movie, we get some other reveals as well to what's happening, and I wish they developed more of that through the characters throughout the whole film. As I said, it's POV on Alice, Florence Pugh's character, and I wish they were able to focus on other characters a bit more to say why they were doing the particular things they were doing, or explore more to further why they wanted to do this, as the characters apart from Florence Pugh's character aren't really developed at all. And moving on into Harry Styles' character, and he was playing Florence Pugh's husband Jack, and what he was able to do well was show off single emotions. So throughout the course of events, stuff happens, so he's able to show the angerness of the character or the charisma of the character really well. And when he's up against Florence Pugh, you can see the difference between the levels of acting, in a sense that Harry Styles is quite young in his acting career, and Florence Pugh is one of like really up and coming actors really, and you can tell that, so it doesn't fit together as well. However, it's not all his fault, his character's the way he is, as Alice is more of a complex character than Jack, as Jack's just more of a single one note, just a husband, as we follow Florence Pugh's character and just there as the husband really, as we explore the complicity of the world through Alice. And with Shia LaBeouf originally meant to be playing the character of Jack, it's interesting to see how different it would have turned out. With all the troubles that's happened off the set, I think it's overcame that and it's produced quite a good movie. As I said, it has its issues, and I feel like not all the questions are answered. It can be heavy-handed in the messaging, but overall it really is able to deliver an intriguing story. The first 2/3 of the movie really able to engage you with the character, with the world, and what's actually happening and what's the secret and what's behind everything. So let me know your thoughts of this movie down below in the comments. What was your thoughts on the movie, and was the ending satisfying for you?